It's Mark Angel Alagao. I am a 19 years old, came from Barangay Libas, Municipality of Tuntangan, Province of South Cotabato, and I am a first year college Bachelor of Physical Education, Section A. So, let me introduce first the topic of my report, which is the physical education in the Philippines. So, probably my report, ang report ko sana is hindi ko sana ito solo, which is meron sana akong kahati dito, but it's so sad to say na nag-stop siya. So, it takes my responsibility na i-report lahat ng to. So, the topic of my report is physical education in the Philippines. So, we will be discussing the development of physical education in the Philippines. So, when we talk about physical education, it refers to a course taught in school which focuses on developing physical fitness, and it is clearly visible in today's generation, but how it started isn't as formal as what we have today, like we will be taught in school. But people from the previous generation have been doing physical activities already that can be seen in many ways. Now let's start with pre-Spanish period. Based on the given definition, the pre-Spanish period aborigines of the Philippines, the Negritos or Aitas, had a way of life the same or similar to any other people living in a primitive society. They were nomadic or wandering tribes who lived mainly by hunting with an expert use of the bow and arrow. The only motivation of physical activities were survival in connection with their quest for food, for protection against hostile environment. They had to run, leap, jump, and climb, and these activities keep them physically fit. Okay, pre-Spanish period. During this period, physical education can be seen in their day-to-day activities for survival, like hunting, like gathering foods in order to survive. They had leap, jump, run, climb, and this what makes them physically fit, meaning to say yung physical activity sa kanila is ginagawa nila sa pang-araw-araw nila, which is they do hunting, gathering foods in order to survive. Ito yung survival nila, and they had run, jump, climb. In this way they makes themselves physically fit. So next is the based on the given definition, cockfighting continued to be the favorite pastime of the Filipinos, which found its way to other places in the country. Spanish and other European dances were introduced, such as the fandangos, curachas, and jutas of Spain, the polkas and mazurkas of Central Europe, and the rigodon and lanceras of France, which were danced only by people of high social standing in the community. Ceremonial dances were performed during the religious events or festivals such as Santa Cruz, de Mayo, or Santa Cruzan. Games were played after the procession on the Santa Cruzan, such as Pabitin, Palo Sebo, Juego de Anillo, women riding on the horseback and holding a long stick on one hand, which was used to get any of the wings suspended in an arc. The young girls played sungka, sikulot, piko, loksong tinik, and hide and seek, while the young boys played patentero, sipas, tapining, and kite flying. So, based on my own understanding, in this period, physical education are in the form of dances and traditional game, which was introduced by the Spanish and Europeans. How people become physically fit is through performing the different type of steps and movement in doing a specific dance or game for a given time, meaning to say at this period of time they do dancing traditional game in order to themselves in order to make themselves physically fit. So that's all. So next is the American period. So for this period of time, there's a lot of year under of this period, but I will read it by one, and I will explain it once in order to gather some of time para hindi tayo mabitin sa oras. So first, the American period. The following dates marks are the significant events during this period. First, 1901. Physical exercise was one of the subjects introduced in public schools, in a regular program of athletics was developed. 1905, baseball and track and field were introduced and taught to the young boys in school. 1909, the athletic program for the school was inaugurated, and much emphasis was given to the playing of Western sports and the coaching of tennis. 1910, basketball was first introduced as a game for girls in the carnival meet held in Manila, but was later discontinued in 1914 because it was found very strenuous for the girls. 1911, the athletic handbook was published, which prescribed few simple group games and relays in the first part, while the second part continued the rule for baseball, basketball for girls, volleyball, indoor baseball, track and field, and lawn tennis. 1919, a syllabus entitled Physical Education, a manual for teachers was published, which was submitted by a special committee of superintendents and edited by Frederick England, the playground director of the city of Manila. During this period of time, formal education was introduced. People were taught different physical activities in school, like exercises, sports, group games, and relays. In this period, different roles in handbook were made, which serve as a guide in doing a specific activity and teaching physical fitness. Meaning to say, the formal education was introduced by this period time, like teaching school, example of exercises, sports, and etc. And also this period of time, the rule in handbook was introduced in order to serve as a guide for doing a specific activity in teaching physical fitness properly. So next is last transition year. Based on the given definition, the transition year 5 years physical education and sports development program was launched by the then Secretary of Education, Honorable Carlos P. Romulo, in Department Order Number 15, US 1967, entitled Physical Education and Sports Development Program, which was considered the greatest push forward ever made, which gladdened the hearts of the physical educators in this country. Republic Act Number 5708, known as the Schools of Physical Education and Sports Development Act of 1969, was approved by Congress on June 12, 1969. This act provided for the promotion and financing of an integrated physical education and sports development program for the schools of the Philippines, which contained this program of activities. So there's under of it. First is the program of health education and nutrition. Second, the program of physical fitness for all pupils. Third, a program of competitive athletics. Fourth, a program of intramurals and inter-unit athletic competition within schools, district, and province. Lastly, an annual athletic competition within and among regions. So, the transition year, this was a time when physical education had been given so much emphasis. Many programs were made which focuses in its development. An act was established to promote and finance the integrated physical education and the sports development program for the school. When we talk about integrated physical education, it is a new and inclusive concept that offers students the opportunity to shift learning from one subdiscipline to another. It simply means that physical education and other subjects were joined together in order to make the learning process more enjoyable in the real. While the sports development program were developed to create opportunities for the individuals to participate in sports activities in the form of competition to make it challenging and enjoyable, while recognizing the important role that sport and active lifestyle play. So I guess this is the end of my report. So hoping na may nag-gather kayo na information and learning from me in my report. So thank you for listening and God bless inyong lahat. God bless you, sir. So paalam. Thank you. Bye-bye. Salamat.